Don't miss the tea. Subscribe now.
Girl, grab the wine. No, actually, grab the whole bottle. You are going to need it for this one. I have been sitting on this story for a few years, and honestly, every time I think about it, I oscillate between feeling like the coolest person alive and the absolute dumbest human being to ever walk the earth. It is wild. Okay, so picture this. It's a few years ago. I'm 20. I'm young, I'm naive, and I possess that terrifying level of confidence that only a college sophomore has. Winter break is over, right? I've been home, living my best life, getting spoiled by my parents, and now it's time to drive back to campus. My car is packed to the brim with laundry I actually did, textbooks I definitely won't read, and snacks. So I kiss my parents goodbye, hop in my car, which, thank God, was a pretty large vehicle like an SUV, and I hit the road. I'm blasting music, feeling like the main character in a coming-of-age movie. About 30 minutes into the drive, the sky turns this ominous shade of gray and it starts snowing. Now you know me, I'm not a nervous driver. I've driven in snow before. I thought, okay, a little flurry, no big deal. I have four-wheel drive, I am invincible. I didn't even tap the brakes. I just kept cruising, thinking I'd beat the storm. Spoiler alert, I did not beat the storm. The storm beat me. It beat me bad. Within an hour, it wasn't just snowing, it was a full-blown whiteout. I'm talking the day after tomorrow vibes. The visibility dropped to absolutely zero. I could barely see the hood of my own car, let alone the lane markers. And then traffic just stopped. I don't mean slowed down. I mean, we were parked on the highway, dead stop. I sat there for 8 hours, girl, 8 hours. Can you imagine the panic? I was moving inch by inch, terrified that if I stopped paying attention for 1 second, I'd slide into a ditch or a semi-truck would slide into me. The road conditions were insanely dangerous. Cars were spinning out, people were sliding off the shoulder, it was apocalyptic. Finally, I had a moment of clarity amidst the panic and called my mom. I was practically hyperventilating. She, being the voice of reason, told me, get off the highway right now. Do not try to be a hero, just find an exit. Now, being 20 and stubborn, part of me still thought, no, I can make it. I have a semester to start. But thankfully, the fear won out. I saw a sign for an exit and practically clawed my way over to the off-ramp. Here is where the tea gets lukewarm and sad for a second. I found out later that the exit I took was the last accessible exit for miles. If I had driven past that, I would have been one of those poor souls stuck sleeping in their car on the interstate overnight. I literally dodged hypothermia by a margin of about 200 yards. So, I skid my way off the highway and roll up to the first hotel I see. It looked like a beacon of hope in the darkness. I run inside, credit card in hand, just desperate for a bed and some heat. But because the universe loves a joke, the power was out. The entire hotel was pitch black. At this point, I hadn't eaten since breakfast. I went to the front desk and the poor clerk was working by flashlight. I got a room, but then I asked about food. Do you have a vending machine, a snack bar? She just looked at me with pity. Honey, the snack bar is wiped clean. Sold out hours ago. Okay, I said, trying not to cry. What about the McDonald's next door? Closed, everything is closed, no power anywhere. So I trudge up to my freezing cold room. I'm shivering in my winter coat, sitting on the bed in the dark. And I realize the only food I have in my entire possession is a Tupperware container my parents gave me. It was full of Buckeyes. You know Buckeyes? Those balls of peanut butter dipped in chocolate that are basically pure sugar and fat. That was my dinner. I sat in the dark, freezing my butt off, aggressively eating peanut butter balls. The first 2 were delicious. The 10th one made me want a gag, but it was survival, okay? It was a Buckeye-fueled survival mission. I barely slept because, again, no heat. I woke up the next morning feeling like a frozen popsicle, stiff and miserable. I looked out the window and my car was buried, just a mound of snow. I made an executive decision right there. I said, forget college. I am going home. I had only made it 1 hour into a 5-hour drive the day before. There was no way I was risking my life to get to an 8 a.m. lecture. It took the help of 3 strangers to dig my car out. Bless them. I finally got back on the road, heading back toward my parents' house, traumatized and hungover on peanut butter. The roads were still garbage, but passable. I'm gripping the steering wheel, knuckles white, just praying to get home. And that's when I saw them. Walking along the side of the highway, trudging through the slush, were two figures pulling suitcases. From a distance, looking through a snowy windshield, they looked small. They had colorful luggage. My brain immediately went, "Oh my God, two college girls, two girls just like me stranded in this nightmare." My heart broke for them. I couldn't just leave two girls to freeze on the side of the road. That's against the girl code. So I slowed down, rolled down my passenger window, and screamed over the wind, "Hey, do you guys need a ride?" They looked up, relief washing over their faces, and came running toward the car. They opened the door, threw their bags in the back, and climbed in. And that is the exact moment I realized my mistake. Girl. They were not women. They were dudes. Two grown, adult men. My soul left my body. I froze. I'm a 20-year-old girl, alone in a car on a deserted, snowy highway, and I have just voluntarily invited two strange men into my vehicle. Every episode of Criminal Minds flashed before my eyes. I was thinking, this is it, this is how I die. But at that point, they were already buckled in. I couldn't be like, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were ladies, get out." That would be rude and, frankly, probably more dangerous if they were crazy. So I just swallowed the lump in my throat and tried to act cool. "So, where are you guys headed?" I asked, my voice barely squeaking. It turns out they had a terrifying story of their own. They had been on a Greyhound bus that got stuck on the highway the night before. They had spent the entire night on the bus on the side of the road. No heat, no food. When the sun came up, they decided they'd rather risk frostbite walking to a train station than spend another hour in that hellhole. They didn't seem like serial killers. They pulled up a map on a phone. "There's a train station about 20 minutes from here," one of them said. "If you could just get us there, you'd be saving our lives." I looked at the destination. It was close. I plugged it into my GPS. "Okay," I said, "let's do it." We drove for a bit. The GPS leads us off the main road and down this long, wooded drive. Suddenly, we round a corner and I slam on the brakes. There is a gate, a serious gate, with barbed wire and men with very large guns. The sign did not say Amtrak. The sign said Marine Corps Base Quantico. My heart stopped again. I turned to the guys. Guys, this is a military base." They looked confused. "The map says the station is inside." So now I'm rolling up to a guarded federal checkpoint with two strange men I picked up off the side of the road. I roll down my window, and this very stern, very intimidating Marine steps out of the booth. He looks at me, a disheveled 20-year-old girl with Buckeye chocolate smudges on her face, and then looks at the two random dudes in the backseat. "ID," he says, not a question. A command. I hand him my driver's license with shaking hands. "Hi," I squeaked. "I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get these guys to the train station." The Marine looks at the guys. "IDs." They fumble around and hand over their IDs. They aren't military, they aren't government. They are literally just two random guys with suitcases. The guard looks at the IDs. He looks at me. He looks at the guys. The silence stretched on for what felt like a decade. I was waiting for him to tell us to turn around or worse, arrest us for trying to breach national security during a blizzard. I mean, this is Quantico. The FBI Academy is there. This isn't just a campsite. We explained the situation. "Sir, our bus broke down. She picked us up. We just need the train." The guard stared at us for a long time. I think he could smell the desperation. Or maybe he just realized we were too pathetic to be a threat. He handed our IDs back. "Go straight. The station is on the left. Do not stop anywhere else. Do not take pictures." I almost cried with relief. "Thank you, sir, thank you." The gate opened, and I drove my little SUV onto the Marine Corps Base. I felt like I was in a spy movie, but the budget version where the spy is running on peanut butter fumes. I drove them to the little train station platform, which was surprisingly normal looking. I put the car in park, and the guys looked at me like I was an angel sent from heaven. "Thank you so much," one of them said. He reached into his wallet and pulled out a wad of cash. "Please take this. Get yourself a real breakfast. You saved us." I tried to refuse, but they insisted. They got out, grabbed their suitcases, and waved as I drove away. I drove back to the gate, terrified the guard wouldn't let me out, but he just waved me through. As soon as I was back on the civilian road, I pulled over and called my parents. "Mom, Dad, I'm heading home." "Oh, thank God." My mom cried. "Are you okay?" "Yeah," I said. "I'm fine. Also, I just picked up two male hitchhikers and drove them onto a military base." Silence. then screaming, "You did what? You let strange men in your car." My dad was in the background yelling, "Is she crazy? Has she lost her mind?" They made me promise, like sworn blood oath promise, that I would never, ever, under any circumstances, pick up hitchhikers again. And honestly, fair. It was objectively the stupidest thing I have ever done. But I finally made it home. I walked into the kitchen, ignored my parents' lectures, and ate a meal that did not consist of chocolate and peanut butter. So, looking back, yeah, I was naive. I was stubborn. I survived a blizzard, a night in a freezing hotel, and accidentally infiltrated a U.S. Marine Corps base to drop off two strangers who turned out to be genuinely nice guys and not murderers. It was terrifying, it was stupid, but hey, I got breakfast money out of it, and now I have the ultimate two truths and a lie story for the rest of my life. But seriously, if you ever see me offering someone a ride in the snow again, slap me. Just slap me right across the face.